That is one of my favourite commercial pull rigs. Today I'm going to show you exactly how I go about tying this rig up. Right, so kit wise, I've got my two little 0.3 bobbies there. I find myself using these on commercials like Tunnel Barn, where I go White Springs, anywhere like that. Fishing across, fishing down the edge, throwing meat short, throwing maggot short, fishing worms. These just do almost everything, where it's up to about 4 foot. And most commercials these days are in and around 4 foot. So I find these are absolutely brilliant. So I've got the floats, silicone's already on them. Silicone wise, I've just got some silicone there, 0.5. Any silicone will do, as long as it fits nice and snug and it's not too bulky, because the thicker the silicone, that when you want to sort of fish through the water, it will catch on the surface tension. So a nice slim silicone is really important. Line wise, I've just got some Supernatural 020. I found myself using this line a lot more as well. I used to use N gauge for everything, but I have been playing around with this lately and I really like this. What I like with it is you can slide your shots and it doesn't damage the line. So we've got some 020, that'll cover us all our F1 fishing through the summer and fishing for, up to, big carp, but medium-sized carp as well. Nice and versatile. Can use it for a little bit of everything. I've got a little loop tire. I always find myself using, what's it on here? Hang on. It's like it's just got the number 1 on it. I'm not sure what size, but I try to keep my loops quite small so I can, when I got my last shot, it's quite close. The bigger the loops, obviously, the further away your last drop is going to be. So that's on number 1. There's a couple of different sizes on that one. There's loads of different loop tires on the market. That's just the one I've got, just because it's got that one size that I like on it. And then I've got a little pot, number 9 shots. I've got myself a brand new little rig mate here, and I haven't really used it, so I'm going to have a little pot with it now as well, so we can see. What's nice is I've got all my little measurements on here. And then obviously a couple of winders to store the rigs on. So let's crack on, let's get on with the rig. So firstly, what I'm going to do, get my line off the spool. I've got a little set of nail clippers here. And what I always do, they'll help you get your silicones on nice and easy, is just cut the line off at a bit of an angle, so it's like pointed. And then I'm just going to thread him through, pull my 3 silicones off, push them through all in one go. That last one through. And then just wet the stem of the float. Makes it easy to get your little silicones on. On there you go. Slide them up. And there you are. Float is on. So I just slide them up a little bit, give myself a little bit of line to play with. Next thing, loop, nice figure of 8 loop. So I've just got my 2 ends together, make a loop, pinch the loop with one hand, and then just turn it around, put the other loop back through. And then that's where my little loop tire comes in. So I'll go to that one, that size I like there. Hook him on, pull him down, and then just pull him against that. Tag end off. Not like super flush, but give yourself like 1.5 mil, just for a little bit of play, just in case when it does, if you get a fish, it bottoms you out, at least it's got a little bit of bite left to sink in. So I'm just going to pop my little loop on there. So next up, I'm going to put the shots on. And I know from past experience where I like to have my shot. What's nice with this, you've got all the little markers. So what I like to do, get my first shot. Oh, I tell you what you do need, that I haven't got out, is some shot pliers, because you don't want to be biting lead shot on if you can help it. So I've just got a pair. I've had these for absolute donkey's years, these. They've rusted up, but they're still going strong. So my first shot is just going to be on the loop to loop. So just pinch him on, and then I know from past experience, I sort of fish this rig, I'll have my bulk's 6 inches from the first dropper, so I'll have the bulk 6 inches, then I normally fish a 4 or 5 inch hook length, so everything's kind of in proportion. I'm only going to be fishing up to 4 foot with this rig. So when you look at it, you look at the dropper, the bulk, you know, if you're in between 3 and 4 foot, you're like, yeah, that's about right, that is. So that's what I'm going to go for on this rig. So I've got my little markers here. And then it's just a case now. I know exactly how much shot. This takes 5 number 9s. So I'll just pinch these on. It's nice on this little rig, mate, because the line is under a nice little bit of tension. So I'll just take my time, make sure I'm lining up the slots of the shots so they're all facing the same way, so your bulk just sits a little bit nicer. Another one. And the more you do, the more you like kind of stick to one part and float, you'll sort of get accustomed to how much shot it takes. You don't need a shotting tube anymore. So like I know with all the bobbies exactly what they take. Like this 0.3 will take 5 number 9s, the 0.4, 7 number 9s, the 0.5, 9 number 9s. So it's all stored upstairs. Saves me messing about with the shotting tube. So there we go. Our bulk's on, our dropper's on. All that's left to do now is peel off 6 or 7 foot of line, whiz it onto a winder, and she's rigged done. Super quick. You can knock these rigs out in minutes. So there she is. Beautiful little rig that is. So I'll just give it, I know that's 6 foot. I'll give it a little bit more, just for luck. And then all I'll do, these little rigs, I double them up on winders so I don't have thousands of winders knocking about. So just top and tail them onto the winder. And you can soon whip through a full tray of rigs pretty quick. So what I do, I just match that up. I don't use like pole anchors, so I'll just match that up to the end there. Sort of gauge what that is, make my little loop. There he is. Whip him over the peg at the top. Tag end off. And there we are. All done and dusted. That is my favourite commercial pool rig.